one of the wilted roses at him across the table. "I'll bid more than a penny. I'll bid twopence. No, a poor little dead rose. A rose for your thoughts, Mr. Arthur Russell. What are they?" He shook his head. "I'm afraid I haven't got any." "No, of course not," she said. "Who could have thoughts in weather like this? Will you ever forgive us?" "What for?" "For making you eat such a heavy dinner. I mean, look at such a heavy dinner, because you certainly didn't do more than look at it on such a night. But the crime draws to a close, and you can begin to cheer up." She laughed gaily, and, rising, moved to the door. "Let's go in the other room. Your fearful duty is almost done, and you can run home as soon as you want to. That's what you're dying to do." "Not at all," he said, in a voice so feeble that she laughed aloud. "Good gracious!" she cried. "I hadn't realized it was that bad." For this, though he contrived to laugh, he seemed to have no verbal retort whatever, but followed her into the living room, where she stopped and turned, facing him. "Has it really been so frightful?" she asked. "Why, of course not. Not at all." "Of course, yes, though, you mean. Not at all. It's been most kind of your mother and father and you." "Do you know," she said, "you've never once looked at me for more than a second at a time the whole evening, and it seemed to me I looked rather nice to-night, too." "You always do," he murmured. "I don't see how you know," she returned, and then, stepping closer to him, spoke with gentle solicitude. "Tell me, you're feeling really wretched, aren't you? I know you've got a fearful headache or something. Tell me." "Not at all." "You are ill. I'm sure of it." "Not at all." "On your word?" "I'm really quite all right." "But if you are," she began, and then, looking at him with a desperate sweetness, as if this were her last resource to rouse him, "What's the matter, little boy?" she said, with a lisping tenderness. "Tell auntie." It was a mistake, for he seemed to flinch and to lean backward, however slightly. She turned away instantly with a flippant lift and drop of both hands. "Oh, my dear!" she laughed. "I won't eat you." And as the discomfited young man watched her, seeming able to lift his eyes now that her back was turned, she went to the front door and pushed open the screen. "Let's go out on the porch," she said, "where we belong." Then, when he had followed her out, and they were seated, "Isn't this better?" she said. "Don't you feel more like yourself out here?" He began a murmur. "Not at—" But she cut him off sharply. "Please don't say 'not at all' again." "I'm sorry." "You do seem sorry about something," she said. "What is it? Isn't it time you were telling me what's the matter?" "Nothing. Indeed, nothing's the matter. Of course one is rather affected by such weather as this. It may make one a little quieter than usual, of course." She sighed, and let the tired muscles of her face rest. Under the hard lights indoors they had served her until they ached, and it was a luxury to feel that in the darkness no grimacings need call upon them. "Of course, if you won't tell me," she said. "I can only assure you there's nothing to tell." "I know what an ugly little house it is," she said. "Maybe it was the furniture, or Mama's vases that upset you. Or was it Mama herself, or Papa?" "Nothing upset me." At that she uttered a monosyllable of doubting laughter. "I wonder why you say that." "Because it's so." "No. It's because you're too kind, or too conscientious, or too embarrassed. Anyhow, too something to tell me." She leaned forward, elbows on knees and chin in hands, in the reflective attitude she knew how to make graceful. "I have a feeling that you're not going to tell me," she said, slowly. "Yes, even that you're never going to tell me. I do wonder." "Yes, what do you wonder?" "I was just thinking, I wonder if they haven't done it, after all." "I don't understand." "I wonder," she went on, still slowly and in a voice of reflection, "I wonder who has been talking about me to you, after all. Isn't that it?" "Not at—" he began, but checking himself, he substituted another form of denial. "Nothing is it." "Are you sure?" "Why, yes." "How curious," she said. "Why?" "Because all evening you've been so utterly different." "But in this weather—" "No, that wouldn't make you afraid to look at me all evening." "But I did look at you often." "No, not really a look." "But I'm looking at you now." "Yes, in the dark," she said. "No, the weather might make you even quieter than usual, but it wouldn't strike you so nearly dumb. No, and it wouldn't make you seem to be under such a strain, as if you thought only of escape." "But I haven't—" "You shouldn't," she interrupted, gently. "There's nothing you have to escape from, you know. You aren't committed to this friendship." "I'm sorry you think—" he began, but did not complete the fragment. She took it up. "You're sorry I think you're so different, you mean to say, don't you? Never mind. That's what you did mean to say, but you couldn't finish it because you're not good at deceiving." "No," he protested feebly. "I'm not deceiving. I'm—" "Never mind," she said again. "You're sorry I think you're so different, and all in one day, since last night. Yes, your voice sounds sorry, too. It sounds sorrier than it would, just because of my thinking something you could change my mind about in a minute. So it means you're sorry that you are different." "No, But disregarding the faint denial, "Never mind," she said. "Do you remember one night when you told me that nothing anybody else could do would ever keep you from coming here? That if you left me, it would be because I drove you away myself?" "Yes," he said huskily. It was true. "Are you sure?" "Indeed I am," he answered, in a low voice, but with conviction. "Then—" she paused. "Well, but I haven't driven you away." "No." "And yet you've gone," she said quietly. "Do I seem so stupid as all that?" "You know what I mean." She leaned back in her chair again, and her hands, inactive for once, lay motionless in her lap. When she spoke, it was in a rueful whisper. "I wonder if I have driven you away." "You've done nothing. Nothing at all," he said. "I wonder," she said once more. But she stopped. In her mind she was going back over their time together since that first meeting, fragments of talk, moments of silence, little things of no importance, little things that might be important, moonshine, sunshine, starlight, and her thoughts zigzagged among the jumbling memories. But as if she made for herself a picture of all these fragments, throwing them upon the canvas haphazard, she saw them all just touched with one tainting quality that gave them coherence, the faint, false haze she had put over this friendship by her own pretendings. And if this terrible dinner, or anything, or everything, had shown that saffron tint in its true colour to the man at her side, last night almost a lover, then she had indeed of herself driven him away, and might well feel that she was lost. "Do you know," she said suddenly, in a clear, loud voice, "I have the strangest feeling. I feel as if I were going to be with you only about 5 minutes more in all the rest of my life." "Why, no," he said. "Of course I'm coming to see you often. "No," she interrupted. "I've never had a feeling like this before. It's just so, that's all. You're going. Why, you're never coming here again." She stood up abruptly, beginning to tremble all over. "Why, it's finished, isn't it?" she said, and her trembling was manifest now in her voice. "Why, it's all over, isn't it?" "Why, yes." He had risen as she did. "I'm afraid you're awfully tired and nervous," he said. "I really ought to be going." "Yes, of course you ought," she cried, despairingly. "There's nothing else for you to do. When anything's spoiled, people can't do anything but run away from it. So good-bye." "At least," he returned huskily, we'll only say good night." Then, as, moving to go, he stumbled upon the veranda steps, "Your hat!" she cried. "I'd like to keep it for a souvenir, but I'm afraid you need it." She ran into the hall and brought his straw hat from the chair where he had left it. "You poor thing!" she said, with quavering laughter. "Don't you know you can't go without your hat?" Then, as they faced each other for the short moment which both of them knew would be the last of all their veranda moments, Alice's broken laughter grew louder. "What a thing to say!" she cried. "What a romantic parting, talking about hats!" Her laughter continued as he turned away, but other sounds came from within the house, clearly audible with the opening of a door upstairs, a long and wailing cry of lamentation in the voice of Mrs. Adams. Russell paused at the steps, uncertain, but Alice waved to him to go on. "Oh, don't bother," she said. "We have lots of that in this funny little old house. Good-bye." And as he went down the steps, she ran back into the house and closed the door heavily behind her. End of chapter 22.